Hey everybody, welcome back in the shed. I'm Troy Shaw, and with me as always is my co-host Dave Griffiths. What's up, Dave?
Well, it's another rain-free evening in Waco, and my better half just left today for a girls' trip to New York City with our niece Elise. She just graduated from high school in the Bay Area, and Karen is taking her on her first trip to the Big Apple. Two gals with a lot of shopping ahead, I'm sure.
That sounds like nothing but trouble. Well, you know, the shed is kind of like New York, because if you can make it in the shed, well, anyway, let's introduce the guys here. We got Bill Hunter and Steven Rosas from the band Common Ground. How you guys doing today?
What's going on, guys?
Hey. Well, welcome, fellas. Thanks for coming. Let's get down to business.
So, you guys have been playing together as Common Ground for 20 plus years. How did the band get together?
Go ahead. We'll start with this one. Common Ground has had many different, or a handful of different members through the years. The first time I met Steve was in 1988. We were at MCC.
You were about 2?
I was about 2. I was 18. Just went to MCC in the music department. Steve had already been there for about a year, but I was lost and couldn't find my way, and saw this guy playing a guitar sitting on his tailgate in the parking lot, and asked him where to go for a certain class, and we ended up talking for about 3 hours. If you ever had a conversation with Steve, there's no short conversations with Steve. So that's when we became friends. We met Philip Wilson there, who plays drums, and also Chuck Williams attended there. Chuck Williams and Steve were classmates back in high school out in West Texas, and we all just kind of ended up at MCC in the late 80s. Common Ground then started actually in 1993. We played together in rock band classes and different places, so we played together. We were good friends. But Steve and Philip formed Common Ground with a handful of other guys. Brad Mays on bass guitar. There was Bobby McBee on vocals, and there was Sean O'Brien on lead guitar, who is still playing in a handful of different bands today. Glenn Kimberlin started playing bass for a little while. A couple of other singers, Marsh Schamberger, Jeff Buchanan, and then at this point I'd moved to Denton. Started going to North Texas. So in 1993. Yeah, 93 is whenever, it was 1990 whenever the band formed. I joined in 93. And it was Steve and Philip Wilson, and bass player at that time was Brad Mays. Mm-hmm. And we played honky tonks and biker bars and stuff, and then Glenn Kimberlin came back. Chris Clarkson came in, played keyboards every now and then. And then we did that off and on, and then in 1996, we started doing more and more originals. Steve and I had recorded a handful of originals at MCC in the late 80s, and we decided to start going in more of originals and less cover stuff, because we did everything from horrible country to even worse classic rock. And we got good at it, but it was just stuff that wasn't our passion. Our passion became our original stuff. 1996, we released our very first CD, and actually Anthony Fields Rodriguez was on bass at that time. But the day of our CD release party, we got Chuck Williams to play bass, who was our sound man at the time. And so Chuck Williams, Steve Rosas, Philip Wilson, and me were Common Ground from 1996 through 2004, and we had 3 CDs and a handful of really incredible moments in there.
So you guys are a product of the much acclaimed music program at MCC. Talk about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What is it that makes it such a great breeding ground for musicians?
For one, the talent level that was there from 88 to 91, whenever I was there, was just incredible. There's guys that are still
yeah, there's I mean, they have the caliber of musicians that were being drawn to that program. I mean, even from out of state, I mean, it was incredible. It was actually, and especially the 3 or 4 years groups that were in front of us and ahead of us and behind us. We had, I mean, Drew Womack,
who's with Sons of the Desert,
and he, I mean, several, Troy Van Hafen, Steve Dady, I mean,
Vaughn Jones.
I mean, several, and a lot of these guys are still doing music today. Also.
There was a lot of talent, a lot of incredible talent, a lot of friendly, competitive talent, as well as the instructors were just amazing. From the recording studio technology to the classical, jazz, and commercial programs through there, the business side of it and all that was where we started first learning how to do the business stuff with our music licensing that we're mainly doing now.
So anybody that lives in Waco is familiar with the Baylor area coffee shop with a similar name. Which came first, the coffee bean or the rock?
The Rock.
The Rock.
In
And
fact,
the band Common Ground came before the coffee shop Common Ground.
Yeah, because
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
That's what he's talking about.
what
That's what I was saying. They showed up when we used to play at Chelsea Street Pub.
So they stole you guys' names.
Yes.
So there was no cease and desist order.
No, because they came up and said, "Y'all stole our name," and I said, "What? What are you talking about?" And they said, "Well,
Did they
we
really?
have a place."
Did they
Yeah,
really?
no, they were at Chelsea Street Pub when it was still around, and I just got off the stage after one of our sets, and they were sitting caddy to the stage, and I walked over and we when we're at Chelsea's, we tried to go out and talk to the patrons and stuff to see what they like.
Because you're nice guys.
Yeah, because we're too nice.
Well, plus also one is a band, one is a business, and then also there's dozens of bands with the name of Common Ground online. And
In fact,
it turns
one
out
time-
there's a band called Common Ground in California that actually copyrighted the name in like '76, and they're still going to this day. So
at one time there was a Common Ground Chicago.
mhm.
We were
Yeah.
going to get all the Common Ground bands and do one big show, and everybody was going to be Common Ground. There was that Irish folk.
You were
band.
seeking a common ground.
Yeah, but
Wow.
where's the drum? Insert
The
insert
wit,
drum.
the sharpness.
Insert drum.
Well, speaking of big shows, my band Color of Darkness, we played a show with you
Yes.
guys, and I'm trying to think of the name. They did an article in the
Super Sexy Foreplay.
Super Sexy Foreplay.
And actually,
And
that was
they
the
were
first time.
both of them were very successful.
Yeah. No,
Oh, there was two?
there was two.
Oh, thanks
You
for
were
inviting
on-
me to the second one.
You were on the second one,
Oh, okay.
wasn't
yeah.
it?
No.
That was on the
They-
first one. Where was the second one?
The first one was right out here at Lakeside Tavern.
Right.
The one we were-
They were both.
They were both out there. What it was, we were really struggling with. We were playing cover songs in bands every single weekend for over a decade, playing all your favorite songs every weekend. Well, it got old to us. It was good songs and great places, but it was just bar band stuff. So we started focusing on originals. We ended up having 3 CDs, and so we were really trying to get an original thing going on. So we did a Super Sexy Foreplay with the first one was 4 different bands with Color of Darkness. There was Willis Brownstone,
Slow Ember. Yes, or Rubber Soul. I think
Now, there
that's
was
what
one of the bands that we played with, it was a band, there's a road in Austin that's named after, what the hell
Oh,
that
it was
band's
called Strode.
Strode.
No, wasn't
Yeah,
Strode.
they
There was
played in one
another
of them.
band. I can't think of what they're called now.
Lamar
But they
Boulevard.
did play. I think they were the first.
6th Street.
Shit, I
No,
don't
but
know.
Mopac.
we were going to do an annual Super Sexy Foreplay, which having 4 bands just focusing on original music, and it was very successful. All the bands got a good bit of money. We made a good bit of money at the door.
You guys
and
got paid?
it was yeah, we got your cut. Oh, hey, we got your cut in the car. and actually, that was the first time we met you, Troy, and then we've used you for a handful of things through the years as well, and you've made a couple of videos for us.
Yeah.
and stuff. So
Awesome videos.
you're awesome. Oh yeah.
I appreciate it. You guys are awesome too. Speaking of awesome, let's talk about your musical style. You guys have a great hook-laden style of rock and roll that's very infectious.
Yeah.
Oh, you read well.
I do.
Like
Thank you.
syphilis and
What are your influences?
oh man.
Our influences are vast. We have anything from Philip and I were really strong into the Beatles, which was song stuff with strong hooks and real catchy stuff. Steve and I were also really into guitar stuff with and Chuck with from Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, and all that. So all the classic great stuff. We were all heavily influenced by it. I loved Journey. We all loved Pink Floyd. We all loved Beatles, Eagles, all the stuff that everybody likes. We were influenced by that. So our songs tend to come out with a lot of classic rock feel, but we try to incorporate a lot of hooks in our choruses and try to make it appealing to a wider audience.
I really like the song. I can't think of the name of it, but the video, Scooby-Doo video.
Oh, Monsters.
Monsters. That's Steve's song. Yeah,
that's a good song.
You know, I'm somewhat reminded of a great, awesome band of Fastball. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember them.
Yes.
They had their moment in the spotlight. Were they ever on your radar? Because that sounds like about that
we
time.
Did. I mean, when we were doing cover stuff, we did a couple of their songs. In fact, I think, I'm not sure, but we were playing at Maggie May's in Austin, and I think it was the bass player that came in. He was I can't remember if he was a Pizza Hut manager or Burger King.
I saw him before they got huge.
What happened was he was talking to another colleague of ours from college, and he had told him they had taken all of their the money that they made from the second album, which was doing really well, to pay off the debt of the first album, which didn't do very well at all. Yeah. And so he said, so I'm still a Pizza Hut manager, and they have to kind of block out their touring schedule. So that was a testament in how the industry, even when you're a made person, sometimes they just keep taking. And so they bombed on their first album because that's when Nirvana and stuff came out. No one wanted to hear a Texas band then. And so then their second album came out. They had 2 or 3 really good big hits for them, and they signed basically to get out of the contract on that second album. They signed all their money that they were making to pay off the debt of the first album. And
that was a great, real pop rock band. I mean, I really loved. I bought the CD. I had the CD.
I remember seeing him on David Letterman. I thought, man, this is good stuff.
Out of Austin.
Yeah. No, they were a great band. I loved all their songs, and I mean, we did a couple of their songs.
Yep.
Because they fit us. We tried to do stuff that fit us more.
Yeah, I can hear it.
And
so all 3 albums were they recorded at your studio?
Yes.
Which is what's the name of your studio?
Direct Resonance Recording Studio, and everybody just calls it DRS.
DRSrecording.com.
And it's always been located.
Shameless.
No, actually, it started off at the Diamond Point Shopping Center. I can't think of what it's called now. It's like Ridgecrest or something. It's where the Harmony Science Academy is, where Albertsons used to be.
Yeah, right.
That shopping center that's over there on the side there.
Yeah, it's on Valley Mills.
Yeah. And that used to be called the Diamond Point Shopping Center. They used to have
there was an Albertsons there when I moved down.
And they had a little twin theater,
it was around the
2-screen theater there. Yeah, and we actually tried to get the studio in the theater because it was already soundproof.
Yeah.
The theater, and so they said
no.
No, they were going to. Hey, I'm going through my adolescence again.
Oh, yeah.
But it is the year 2000.
Sounds like Peter Brady right now.
But
here you go, take a drink.
We were going to I'm parched.
Frightfully parched. It's kind of hot out
here. So I will wrap up this conversation on that one. Yes, all 3 CDs have been recorded at Steve's studio because he has the tools, skills, and the experience at a fraction of the cost that would have cost us to go elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's a plus.
Is so professional.
Clean,
it's
clean
just,
sounded.
I've listened to, I basically did some research, but I listened to all your stuff on iTunes and stuff. And
he stole all your songs pretty much.
Awesome.
Downloaded.
Steve's got
I downloaded them. I didn't
We're on Pandora, too. we're on
we got but I mean, I guess what I'm saying is, you can tell people that have somebody that knows what the hell they're doing when it comes to mixing and producing. and you guys are obviously pros.
Thank you.
Any big name artists that you've had in the studio?
Oh, he's had a
Besides
Common Ground?
Besides Common Ground, of course.
Well, I've recorded at Uncle Ted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did.
You done Ted Nugent a whole bunch of times.
Yeah, I did Ted Nugent several times. I mean, at the time, I was the only studio that had what they call a phone patch service, and so even Dallas might have had one. But
what is phone patch?
You can produce from abroad, and what you do is you hook up the. In this case, the one we have is called a Telos 1, and the signal comes in, and I have to patch all that stuff into the board. So it's as if the producers were.
So is it a proprietary software, or is it?
No, it's not that. No, the Telos is actually hardware.
Okay.
That was all done outboard. And you patch it into your, mixer. They can hear the artist. They can hear everything.
Oh, you
you're
can do it
doing.
live.
Yes,
Oh,
they're
nice.
producing from abroad, and so
So Ted is recording here, but they're producing from somewhere
right.
else.
Yeah, like L.A. They could be in L.A. They'll call in. I'll hit my little button on the Telos, and it locks in the number. And
It's
then
kind of like FaceTime for music. Huh?
yeah.
You also did some stuff for the Cartoon Network with him.
I did.
and Simpsons.
Yeah, I have to give him a lot of props because I did get a lot of gigs that I probably wouldn't have gotten otherwise. I mean,
Good investment then.
Yes, the Telos was a good investment. Plus, we had to of course, we had to prove ourselves that we were capable of handling bigger stuff. And so, whenever these studios would call, whether it was Nugent's people or whether it was a network that needed him, let's just say Cartoon Network, for example. It was Aqua Teen Hunger Force. They called us, producers from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, the producers from The Simpsons, the producers. The first thing they ask us is, do you have, they gave us a list of things they were needing as far as our recording process was concerned.
Prerequisites.
Yes, yeah. More or less. And when we, of course, Kayla is my wife, who's also an engineer, we made an investment for that reason, so that we knew when people were going to call in, they were going to ask for specific things.
So you were dealing with pros out in LA or wherever?
Yes, and we had a kind of a heads up with Al. His name is Al Priest. He's like the guru of audio here in Texas, but he's also the guru of audio for a lot of people. I mean, he literally single-handedly built like Rocky Mountain Studio in Denver, and where Zappa and Axe, you remember Edgar Riley, and
John Denver.
No, Skywalker Ranch.
Yeah.
Skywalker.
Okay, yeah. Skywalker
So
Ranch.
he's like
that's a Lucas thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
So he's Lucas's right hand man.
Okay,
he
cool.
lives down in Austin in the Lake Buchanan area, and so he told me, he says, this is all you need. I'm just going to tell you exactly what you need. He says all you need is a really good microphone, a really good preamp, and a really good set of speakers to hear the difference. He says, and that's it. He says everything else is fluff. Everything. He says it doesn't matter what you're recording it on, be it Steinberg stuff or Logic Pro. Awesome. He says that's incidental. That's not that. What it's being recorded on doesn't matter as long as it's good.
It's digital, so
it's digital. But if you're not hearing what you're preamping with good stuff, if that's not coming back to your ears exactly the way you're tracking it, then you're not tracking that.
Yeah,
sound.
we apologize, folks, here on In the Shed. We're not using the best microphone you can use in the business, but, you know.
It looks awesome.
It looks good.
It looks cool.
It's a kind of a low rent approach, but our heart's in the right place.
Has the ability for kids these days to be able to, you know, get a laptop, get some software, cheap software, and record their own music? Has that you know, affected your business at all?
Well, yes and no. I mean, the industry itself is tanking a little bit, and that's mainly that's on the web side. I don't, you know, if somebody wants to record something with better equipment, with someone that has more experience,
Yeah, they'll buck up.
They'll save their money and they'll come in to my studio or any of the other. Really, I mean, we've got a lot of really good studios and very talented engineers. David Zychek, who was on the show before, is an awesome producer engineer. Casey Pittman, Tim Jenkins, Ahmad Washington with the kind of rap producing stuff. I mean, there's just I could go on. I could name drop a lot of really, really good. Yeah, that's a plethora.
Yeah, that's a plethora.
It's a plethora.
Well, you guys have a plethora of material.
Yes,
We did.
And you got a lot of original material.
How about play?
How about some original material?
Let's do it.
All right.
From your plethora
We
catalog that we can record here in the shed.
that sounds great.
Okay.
All right.
But I need to go take a leak first.
This song is called Rewind, and it was actually a song that was written well after our third CD was released, and it was a song that I wrote that started to record and made a couple of demos of it. Steve added a handful of changes to it that made it better. And when the disaster happened in West Texas, what was that, 2 years ago? 2.5 years ago or so? They came out with a compilation CD. David Duran came out with a compilation CD, and as we had a song we wanted to contribute, and so it wasn't specifically written for or about West, but we contributed to it, and it is a song that is about coming of age, just realizing that before you realize, 10 years have gone before you've realized it. So it's called Rewind. Reflections of a life outside my window takes me away to another time. If I stare too long, it plays back like a movie, and at the end, just press rewind. Reminiscing, don't miss a thing. It's been far too long. Another year has gone. Don't waste your time on yesterday. It's all been good. Sometimes a little misunderstood. Remember how it feels today before it fades away. It all just seems so temporary, yet permanently preserved in the past. Take the time to see, make your mind believe. The moments here are meant to last.
Yeah.
So you guys did a song a couple of years ago that I did a music video for. What was the name of that song?
It was called Not Me.
Not Me. And what
Yes.
that was for a movie or independent film or something?
Yeah, it has a really interesting story. A friend that I had back at MCC, she was in the drama department, spraying bug spray here. She was in the drama department, and a boyfriend of hers at the time
Oh, I already sprayed some.
was a movie who ended up being a movie producer for a handful of independent movies out in Los Angeles. So I met him at a social event and just remembered his name, and we exchanged contact information. He had sent out a request, like a Kickstarter request. Hey, you want to donate money to my movie? And I emailed him and said, hey, remember me? Instead of me donating money, can I donate a song? And he said, well, we already have musicians on board for it, but go ahead and send me what you got. And I said, well, I don't have anything planned. What I can create something for you. He said, okay. He goes, well, how about this? And he sent me the plot of the movie. He sent me the final clip.
Yeah, they sent us
the last
clip.
3 minutes of the movie where it all kind of sums up. And he says, okay, this is what happens. This is the premise of the story. This is it's kind of like one of those, at the very end, it just changes everything. And he had some music examples what he wanted. It was something that was totally not us. It was Radiohead and something else. And I listened to the examples, and I thought, this isn't Radiohead. I mean, this is Pink Floyd. This is Dark Side of the Moon stuff. So it was stuff that we were heavily influenced by and loved, but it was stuff that we haven't written before. So I took his information, his request, and wrote a song, went over to Steve's, and Steve added his opinion and 2 bits to it, and then we recorded a demo and sent it to him, and he called me and he said, holy cow, I was just kidding whenever I said send me the stuff, but I'm going to use your song in the movie. I said, oh, okay, awesome, great. And he says, well, it was just a demo, so we're going to add this and change that. And he says, okay, yeah, and he made some suggestions, and so we really did it full-blown, like a full-blown Pink Floyd song, and he loved it. I mean, it had orchestration, it had drama, it had dynamics, it had everything.
We went through every emotion.
We went through every emotion.
Every emotion.
And then he says, okay, perfect, we're going to use it, and then we're going to the Sundance Film Festival, we're going to the Cannes Film Festival, we're going to all these film festivals, and we're going to use it at the very last. It's going to be the song that wraps up the entire thing, and it's going to be on a flash drive that we're giving out to everybody in their goodie bag at all these film festivals, and it's going to have it on there and all your contact information and yada yada. Then he called back about a month later and said, we decided to change the ending, and we're not going to use your song after all. I'm so sorry. So I said, oh crap. Well, you win some, lose some. And so
did he get paid on that?
No, because he didn't use it. We didn't. So we had this great song. Said, well, what do you want to do with it? So we called Troy and said, hey, we want to make a video. And Troy said, well, let's do this new one you were talking about. And so Troy came over, and we made it turned out to be our second music video.
Yeah, the music video is the song is very Pink Floyd-ish.
Eclectic
for
and
sure.
dark, yeah.
And what we did, I remember, I've always wanted to make a music video in slow motion. So what we did, remember, we played the song
we did
double
twice
time.
as fast,
Right.
Which was, I know that felt kind of odd.
Yeah.
And I actually went to Phil's house to shoot his part, shoot you guys' part in the studio over here.
Yeah.
And he played it double time, and then I slowed that down so it looks like you guys are playing in slow motion.
Right.
And I've always wanted to do a video like that. I think the video turned out really cool. But it's one of my favorite videos that I've ever done.
Yeah, it captured the emotion of that particular song.
Yeah. I don't know. Have you seen
like
that video, Dave? I'm not sure if you've seen it.
Having it in slow mo.
Go to our website, TexasRockBand.com, and click on videos, and boom, it's there.
Yeah, right. Well, got something to do tonight.
Since your wife is out of town.
She's out of town.
And what was cool is we gave Troy the just a general vague direction, and Troy said, that's exactly what I want to do, because I got all of these ideas, because we didn't have anything specific in mind.
Yeah.
And So Troy said, "Oh, I've got a fisheye lens. I want to do slow motion. I want to do."
And it had snowed.
Yes,
at that time too. So I have a great shot of I got a GoPro.
You put your daughter in it.
Yeah, I put it down in the middle of the snow, and you could see snow barely coming down, and she like bends down and picks the camera up. It just looks, it's really everything's in slow motion.
It's really cool.
I think it looks really cool. I just shot a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah,
pretty much.
That is very Floydish. They did. It fits the song because it was done in that vein. Right. So
it's a shame that they didn't use it for the movie.
I know. And the guy apologized. He's a good guy, and we've tried to.
Yeah, they commented on the video on YouTube that they wish they could have used the song.
Right.
But I guess that's
you win some and you lose some.
Yeah,
that's the truth. Well, you guys have kind of really created some success by licensing your music to many TV shows and kind of getting a national and international audience. Tell us about that, and also tell us who's been good to work with and who's not been so good to work with. And is Gene Simmons as big of a dick as I hear?
Never met him.
But tell us about that.
All right, music licensing. In 2004, we released our third CD. After that, we kind of went through a couple of different personnel changes in the band, and so the steam kind of ran out on playing live after a short period of time. So we had all this material, all this catalog of music, and opportunities started being more available for independent artists. One of the companies that we were working for that we did showcases for, we did showcases for Hollywood Records, Epic Records, and things like that down in Austin and Antone's. Had some really cool rock star moments and really cool things. Well, we got into a good group of people called Music Gorilla, and they had an opportunity where if you win a contest, so to speak, then your band t-shirt will be put on a character in the NBC show Friday Night Lights. Well, okay, we didn't think anything about it. Submitted it. Sure enough, we won. And the guy, he plays the character's name is Landry. His his real name is
Jesse Plemons.
Jesse Plemons. He's actually from Mart. Was in the NBC show Friday Night Lights. Well, he's wearing it for about a minute in the show. Our t-shirt that has our third CD on it. And so I was okay. Well, that's cool. So we started looking for other opportunities.
Did you sell any albums because of that? Did people notice it?
I don't know if it was any.
We never really graphed that, even though we were one of the early, especially on CD Baby. I mean, that's back when Bill or I could email Derek Sievers, who's the founder of CD Baby. I mean, they didn't have a whole lot of artists back then.
Yeah, and now they're huge.
And now they're huge. Yeah, and back then, I mean, we were on the ground floor of some of that stuff, and that helped. Being on the ground floor when iTunes went to Japan in 2004.
I don't know.
It was. I mean, you'd think that iTunes was like all over the world, and it wasn't. I mean, it was primarily in the United States. I think it was like between 02 04. Japan finally got iTunes, and not even like 08 was Canada and Brazil and stuff like that. So iTunes started showing up in these other countries, but because we were on that edge, the first edge, our music went out. Our independent music went out with those same artists, the big artists. So
and
that was kind of neat.
The sales that are, if somebody downloads a song today, and we've done a tremendous amount of CD sales and iTunes and digital sales, but they're months behind. So you don't get paid for them till months later. So if there's any direct sales from that,
you don't really know.
We don't really know what it was from. So because it's not immediate, you know. But then the next licensing thing that happened is working with a different company. Meanwhile, I'm doing all this research on how to become members of ASCAP, BMI. What do we need to do? How do we get it? There's companies. Every company works differently. They do this, they do that, and the other. So we weren't playing live as much, and we had all this great catalog. I thought, well, we like this stuff, so let's see if anybody else does. And sure enough, then one day I get a check in the mail for several $100s, and
you quit your job, and the rest is history.
it turns out there was a video. I mean, there was a TV commercial in North Carolina for their
Harley
Davidson scratch-off ticket for the North Carolina State Lottery. Well, the TV advertisement used our song "Better Life," which is our third song off of our first song off our third CD, which has been our most successful licensing song. It was used in that. That same song was used for a snippet in Gene Simmons' Family Jewels. It was used in over 40 NCAA games on CBS Sports for their Final Four and March Madness and all that. It's been used just a tremendous amount of times, and so I'm working with about a half a dozen different companies. Each one of them work a different way, and we submit, and sometimes it costs us money, and sometimes to submit, and then sometimes it's free, but they take a larger cut. But basically it's like fishing. The more fishing rods you have in the water, the more likely it is you're going to catch a fish. The only bad thing about it, sometimes it's a small pond, and sometimes it's a giant ocean. So you're competing with a world of other independent artists that are
you're competing with the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's your promotional strategy these days? Is it social media or big time record company machine, or with roadies, hookers, and blow?
We do have an online presence with Facebook and Twitter, and we have our own Pandora station, but those are just side things. We don't really do a whole lot of promotion because the promotion doesn't really help the licensing. The licensing, the companies that work with licensing, they don't think of it as anything other than a product. So you want to market the product to the company and have them do with it what they will, and they can. We've had music being placed in anything from TV commercials, TV shows. There was a song called "Bye Bye Maggie." That was off our first CD. It was placed in an episode of 90210. There was we just signed a deal with NASCAR. Our entire third CD is with the NASCAR Productions company. We signed a deal with the Discovery Channel, where any show represented with the Discovery Channel can use any song off our third CD. We've done. Actually, we found out that it was used in hardcore porn. I haven't found it yet. We've also found that.
Have you been looking for it?
when I Googled the name of the company, that's what came up. And I thought, well, I think it's going to take a long time.
Do
to
you
find
have
this,
well, when
some
the check
funk on
comes
there?
in, I guess that's a happy ending.
And then, hey,
you got some wah wah pedal and some funk on there.
No, it wasn't even a funky songs like that.
Surprised which song.
There's been stuff played in retail stores in Israel and Colombia. There's been songs played. Golly, I can't even remember. There's literally been hundreds of placements. There's a TV show in United Kingdom, but the way that's reported, we don't know what TV show it was. There's been many products like I gotta look it up.
The spraying sound you hear is us fending off the mosquitoes.
Here's some of the things that we've been placed on. We signed a deal with Discovery Channel and NASCAR Network through a separate publishing company. We've been on TV in the United Kingdom. Steven had a song placed in a video game for a song of his own on the side.
What video game?
It's called Zotrix or Zotrix. I don't know. It just depends on whether you're European or American or Texan.
Mm-hmm.
So Guitar Hero is next.
Yeah.
Well, Zotrix is like a space shooter game. It started off on Steam.
Yeah,
and then they got it on iTunes now, and they're trying to get it onto the bigger boxes now.
It's cool.
So
it's cool.
Yeah,
that may be coming in the future.
So Common Ground as a band, you guys don't play as much as you used to.
we haven't played in 2 years, and actually in the past 10 years we've played 3 times as a band.
But you and the drummer Phil have the Bill and Phil show.
We do.
What exactly is the Bill and Phil show?
When Common Ground kind of started fizzling out as far as playing live because of personnel changes, Steve's studio started to take off, and Philip and I had opportunities to just play some acoustic sets at various clubs and restaurants.
What does Phil play?
Phil
does he play
plays,
guitar too?
He plays drums.
Okay, so you
he
play
has a
guitar and sing, and he plays the drums.
I play guitar and acoustic guitar and vocals, and he plays a stand-up cocktail drum kit and vocals, and we actually do just cover songs.
Play cover songs and make fun of people.
Yes, it's half sarcasm and ridicule and heckling, and half not. and you know, it's nothing special, but it's just something to keep busy on the side, you know, because our main focus was Common Ground, so it was just something to stay busy.
To get you out of the house.
Something to make a little extra cash on the side.
So, are you writing songs?
We continuously write songs, but we don't write songs together as much as we.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what the songwriting process was. Was it a Elton and Bernie kind of thing, or is it a Pete Townsend, or you just drive the whole thing? Or
like the Take 3 CD was probably, I think, probably the best collaboration disc that we did. The first two was I wrote a song, Bill wrote a song.
Right.
So Philip wrote a song. You know, everybody kind of wrote a song, and then
complete songs.
Yeah, but when you listen to those albums, even though some of those songs are, have done well, they are too eclectic. I mean, there's no glue between the songs.
So you guys never sit in a room together and say, "Hey, let's write a song."
Well, the third CD, we were staying in hotels and a lake house on a handful of bunch of gigs whenever we were on the road, and at that point we were putting the finishing touches on a handful of songs. It was mainly Steve's or mainly mine, and we would collaborate then just in a hotel room, just kind of goofing off. So that was where we got
between the hookers and blow.
We were actually, it was between the Xbox games and the hacky sack games.
Yeah,
we're a very boring band. We're not we're not the partiers or nothing like that. A good day was, hey, let's go out and play some hacky sack. You know, so that's where the rehearsal came from. It was in the hotel rooms. Hey, what do you think about doing this? And so that's where we would add the collaborations.
Well, you know, what's next for Common Ground? Are you guys... Now's the time to spill it, because we're going to blow up. We're going to be huge, you know. If you want to put it out there right now, you know, relatively speaking, we're going to be huge.
We're looking for an In the Shed song. We're looking for a theme song for In the Shed.
We're your band.
We ask everybody. Nobody wants to do... I mean, we'll do a song, but they never do.
I have it for you tomorrow.
All right.
Well, how about another song?
Or two.
Let's do it. Awesome. Let's do it.
Which songs are you going to do?
We will do two songs off of our third CD. The first song is Better Life, which is the very first song, which has the most success with the Gene Simmons Family Jewels, with the CBS Sports, and a couple of dozen other songs like that.
So you never met Gene, though?
Never met him.
No, but...
never even seen the episode it's played on.
Really?
Yeah, I've looked for it, but I can't find it.
Yeah, that's the hard part is when we do
I have found the 902 episode on Netflix.
When we find some of this stuff, when we finally get a list of, you know, your music was used on these listings, you know, Bill and I will go searching for them. You know, I found
actually, you found the TV commercial in France. There was actually, we sent it to you to have your wife interpret, because it was all in French.
Yeah. So we had that one. I found
I think it was a
North
Douche
Carolina. Well, I found the Harley Davidson one through the company that actually produced the video for the, and so, you know, we can do, but the part, you know, like the Kardashians, you know. There's going to be going through every episode of the Kardashians is something I'm not wanting to do.
So you write some slutty songs. Is what you're saying.
Well, and actually, what's frustrating about it, but this is the way it is you don't find out till a long time after the fact what your song was used for. We could find out tomorrow that our song was used for a product 6, 8, 12, 18 months ago.
Right.
And so by that time, it's no longer being played on TV. You might be able to find it on the internet.
Yeah, thank God for YouTube.
I know.
Right.
Sometimes they're on YouTube. Most
Yeah,
of the
because
time.
the last one was a sports one I couldn't find. It was on that Kobe Bryant. No, not Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, it was
no. It's what's it called? It's an NBA sports thing.
Maybe I've got it online.
Anyway,
by the way, douche in French means shower.
Sweet.
So
I need to go take a douche. That's what that means.
You sure do.
Did you douche today?
You sure do. I was going to ask if you did.
Well, no bags attached here.
All right, well, let's play a couple more songs.
all right.
All right.
Song's Better Life off our Take 3 CD. Here we go.
I can't fall down. My feet don't touch the ground. I need to see the wire under me. The crowd below, the less you know will help to save me from reality. I'm losing ground and I'm fading fast. I see the sounds of a troubled past. I never wanted this to be. I know this isn't right, but this is a lie. Listen and hear the screams, they disappear. I take your hand, 'cause you seem to understand. I wish I knew what I was running into. I fell so fast, 'cause I know this wouldn't last. So I'm losing ground and I'm feeling fast. I see the sounds of a troubled past. I never wanted this to be. I know this isn't right, but this is a lie. I'm losing ground and I'm fading fast. I see the sounds of a troubled past. I never wanted this to be. 'Cause I know this isn't right, but this is the life for me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is the life I need. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is the life for me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is the life I need. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is the life. Woo!
Yeah!
Keep on going.
All right.
All right.
Stop this real quick. All right, go ahead.
Hold on.
You will improve. Drink up.
And this song is called Alive. It's also off our third CD, and it has been used on broadcast TV in the United Kingdom, we found out not long ago. So, here we go. I still remember the Sunday morning, the dream
just then I know this must sound absurd. And I never felt more alive, feeling deep inside, waiting all of my life. I realize how to survive. Only this time it's in my mind. And I never felt more alive, feeling deep inside, waiting all of my life.
Thanks for burying the mosquitoes and kicking ass. You can scratch all night, fellas.
All right, Dave. Thank you.
Well, we want to thank Bill and Steve from Common Ground for being on in the shed today, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Yeah, you
Thank
guys
you.
are awesome. Thank you very much for the opportunity. This is a really good thing that you're doing here. Thank you.
All right, thanks again, Bill and Steve.
Thank you. Thank you very much.